Hey everyone, and welcome to IsmsBy Josie. Today we're going to be continuing doing this crochet kit from Amazon. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So in today's video, you guys, we're going to pick up where we left off in this crochet kit that I purchased from Amazon. It's fairly popular. I don't think it's that popular, but I will leave the link in the description box below. You can create 5 characters out of this kit, and it has practically everything you'll need to complete all these projects. And the price point is around $21, so it is a great gift for the holiday. And a great kit for beginners. So the company that does this kit is HEJIN. I've never heard of them before, but it says all materials included, and it does. I think there are about like 10 spools of yarn in here. Anyway, they call this the Christmas Character Crochet Pattern Kit. In here you can see the 5 characters that you can make. There's the reindeer, the gingerbread man, Santa Claus, snowman, which we have completed already, and then the elf. So some of the things that I just want to show you are the items that they do give you in this kit. Again, along with all the colors, I believe there are 10 different colors in here that they give you. And also they give you this little I don't want to call it a pencil box because there's no pencils in here. But when you open it up, you have your crocheting needle that you will use to make all these kits. And I mean, I think this might be like a beginner needle. I've never seen a needle like this before. I've only had the needles that are just the metal, but this has like a rubber stopper, maybe just to be more ergonomic. And this is a 4.0 millimeter crocheting needle. It comes with the safety pins. There's about 5 of these, and they're so easy to use. I used them in the last video. I will leave a link for that video at the end of this one, but it's easy to open and close. It comes in different colors. It comes with the beady eyes and the stoppers so that you can put the eye attachments on. I'm not going to use these. I'm going to sew my own eyeballs onto my characters because it is a choking hazard. And if you are giving this to like a toddler, they can choke on it. It also comes with this big needle. There are going to be times where you're going to use this to sew your pieces together. So they give you a needle for that. And there's more, you guys. It doesn't end here. It also comes with legit scissors. Now these are rounded, so it's not, you know, sharp, pointy, but it is a sharp scissor. Listen to it. When you feel that pressure and you hear the grind on the blades, you know it's a decent scissor. So that's really cool that they give you that. And then also they give you stuffing. Now this doesn't look like much. They give you 2 packets of this for the 5. If you've seen my video 1, you saw me cut it, and then it re-expanded and it was pretty fluffy. So I think you have enough stuffing for the 5 characters. And then, like I said, the 10 yarns, I'm not going to pull all of them out because I've opened a couple of them to do the snowman. So, well, more than a couple of them to do the snowman. So I don't want it to be all messy all over my workspace, but I'm going to start with this color today. This has not been used before, but the fabric is kind of like, it's cotton. It's not acrylic or polyester, so it's not fraying. It's a very nice, neat yarn. So What I'm going to want to do though, this is a tight spool, so I don't even know if I can do it, but I like to take out the end. Oh my gosh, this is in there. Okay, yeah, it got stuck. I like to pull from the inside. I know it gets like a little crazy, but you don't want to pull from the outside sometimes, because then, you know, when you try to pull for yarn, this is going to roll around. If you pull from the inside, it doesn't roll around. But they had stuffed all this in here, which is crazy because that's a lot. So I'm just going to wrap this around here and try to tuck it out of the way. But today, you guys, we're going to do the elf. I'm going to try to get to all the remaining characters before Christmas, which is going to be a little crazy. If I don't get to do that, I'm going to at least try to finish them before the month is over. But yeah, so before we start that, let me show you this booklet. It's very detailed. It's still like a little empty in places. But for that, you can go use these QR codes to go to their website and learn some of the basics that they don't explain to you in this booklet, or you can go to the step-by-step to do these characters. Unfortunately, that means you wouldn't have to watch my videos, but if that works for you, that's fine. In the first few pages, it shows you some of the basic explanations of terminology that they use, and then they have some abbreviations so you can understand what that is. I'm going to explain all of this as we read the instructions, and then also it's going to show you how to count stuff. So I think that's kind of cool. But as we learned from the first video, what we did learn is that they don't even teach you the basic initial move, which is the magic, what do they call it? They called it the magic loop. They don't show you how to make the magic loop, which I think is silly. I think if you start off a project saying magic loop, but you don't really, you know, I think they just expect you to go to their website to learn the basic. But yeah, but I'll just show you here so you don't have to keep flopping between websites. Okay, so today we're going to do the elf, and I'm going to start this off by teaching you how to do the magic loop that they couldn't tell you how to do. Oh man. So just to let you guys know, I did do the Crafter Square crochet kits from the Dollar Tree. I am going to get back to that. I have some requests to do a couple videos over again. I am going to do that in with my left hand because I am ambidextrous, and I know that they have some lefties out there, and I don't want you guys to be left out. So I'm going to be creating lefty videos. Okay, so to work the head, if you already have this kit, you can work with me, or you can like watch this again when you do end up getting this kit. But I'm going to be using that nude color, or whatever they want to call that color. Okay. So what I'm going to want to do is take this end of the yarn here, and I want to wrap it around my index finger twice, to where I have a little bit of this yarn kind of over my finger. So then I'm going to take my my middle finger and just place it on top of that end so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to grab my crocheting needle hook. I'm going to stick it under the 3 pieces of thread. And then as I grab it back, I'm going to grab this one and pull it under these 2. Just like that. So we have a little loop now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over, Y-O, abbreviated Y-O, yarn over the hook, and I'm going to have that hook grab it and pull it through the loop. So now my magic loop is secure with this little stitch here. I'm going to slide this off of my finger, and then these heads, it's the same instruction for all 5 characters. It's just use different colors. So I'm going to use this color to do 6 single crochet stitches. And I'm going to leave my yarn right here so it's near me. Oh, they call it skin color yarn. Skin color yarn. I don't really like that terminology, but okay. I think it looks like a peach. Want to be a peach, maybe a light coral, something like that. Anyway. Okay. So before we start our single crochet stitches, you have to create the height for the loop. I mean for the row. They call it rounds, sorry. We want to make the height for the rounds. So single crochet stitches are going to be 1 chain high, like that. So we created the height. You can visually see it now. It's going to be yay high all around the circle. So now we can do the 6 single crochet stitches. So you're going to want to do is stick the hook into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through 2 loops. And you guys, if you do not buy this kit, I mean, kudos to you, because then you can actually just follow me in this video. You don't even have to use this color yarn. Sometimes I like to go artsy fartsy and pick like colors that do not even resemble skin in this case. But or you can go ahead and pick actual skin tones that you like. So yeah, feel free to use this video however you want. Hopefully no one gets in trouble, but get the kit or not. I mean, at least when you get the kit, you know you have everything and you don't have to worry about getting stuff. But as you see, it's like really simple. You just need a color, different color yarns, and you don't even have to make it cotton. You can make it any type of yarn. And then obviously a hook. This is at 4 millimeters. You know, safety pins, sewing needles. You know, you'll know from this video what you'll need. Okay. So I made 1 single crochet stitch. Now I just got to do 5. We'll stick the hook in the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need 2 more. Into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then 1 more time. Into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Just to make sure that we have 6 stitches, let's count back. We want to count back from the hook. So not the one that's on the hook, the one that's the next one to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this may look like 7, but it's not. That's the height one that we made initially, that chain. And I know it looks like this now, but we're gonna close this, so this is gonna kind of not disappear, but it's gonna end up showing in the height and not the actual flat of the round. But to do that, we need to grab this little excess piece here. Now we have 2 loops that are going to pull with it. We're going to take a close look as to which one is going to move when we pull this. So you want to go and pull it slowly, and just keep an eye out for what yarn moves first. And as you see here, this front one's moving first. I want to be able to get both loops super tight, remove the excess. You want everything to pull, and that's the magic loop. So what I'm going to do is pull this end out. So not this end, because then you'll pull this guy. You want to pull this end, and then slide the stitches, compress it, next to each other, form that ring. You can see that the ring is naturally wanting to curve now. Just keep pulling. And remember, just this side, not this side, this side. Okay. Then we're going to want to pull this excess piece so that this can go in. So keep pulling. And now we have our magic loop nice and tight. Like I said, that space is kind of being pulled to be the height. And just to double check, you can count backwards 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And like I said, that one is kind of disappearing now. So we're good. And this excess piece, put it in the back. Okay. So now for the second round, we have to do 6 increased stitches, which equal to 12. And I'll show you how to do an increased stitch. It's very easy. So like I said, I don't think they really show you these basic stitches, which is very interesting. You know, these are fundamentals. But you know, it kind of explains it here. Since 1 increased stitch equals 2 single crochet stitches, it doesn't tell you how to do it. 1 increased stitches. Yeah. So I'm going to show that to you anyway. It's very easy, you guys. I'll show you. So like so after we complete a round, we have to slip stitch it. SL, the abbreviated slip stitch. So when you count back the 6 stitches, you stick your hook into the 6th stitch, both front and back loops. That's what it means here, front and back. Front and back. Looks like a braid. Slip stitch is very simple. You yarn over and you pull it through the front and back, and then you pull it through the loop on the hook. Oh my gosh, everything's falling here. And then you have your slip stitch. It's that simple. Let me just fix something here. This is okay. So before we start our second round, like I said before, we have to get the height of the round. So let's just do 1 chain for single crochet stitches. So we have that. So then for the next 6 stitches, we're going to do single crochet stitches twice. Just to do like a quick explanation, when you count back 6 stitches now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have this little halvesy one. That one is kind of fused together when we did that slip stitch. That one doesn't count. Always count back from the hook to find the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know it's going to be this one, not this little one here, this one. You're going to stick the hook into the front and back loops. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So to increase stitch again, we're going to do this again. Stick the hook into that same stitch. And when you work loosely, you'll be able to fit that in there with no problem. If you're having a hard time, you have to loosen up on your stitch so that you'll be able to fit the crocheted hook. So then you yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So that's an increased stitch. You have 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So now that we have 2 single crochet stitches, we know we have to have 12, and we just have to do this 5 more times. So into the next stitch, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, stick the hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 4 stitches. I'm just going to grab more yarn here. And this is the beauty of pulling it from the inside. It's not going to be rolling around. And that takes some skill. Some yarns, you should see me, I can't find the middle and it'll pull out a big chunk. And that stuff is kind of annoying, but at least like I'm able to eventually find the other end inside the spool. Yeah, pardon the noise if you hear other noise. I am having cable issues and we're doing that right now. So sorry about that, guys. Okay, so into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now we have 6. So we have to do this 3 more times. Into the hook, into the stitch, put your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let me see where I'm at. I think I just have one more to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I gotta do one more. This is the height and this is the one left. And I'll tell you what I forgot to do after I finish this. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. What I forgot to do, you guys, I forgot to put the safety pin into this last stitch. You always want to get that handy because you don't want to lose your spot in these rounds. These rounds can get very confusing, and you're just going to want to fix that. So I'm going to get that ready, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to count back 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So into the 12th stitch, and remember this is the height up, so we're not counting that. You yarn over, pull through the front and back loops, and pull through the left over loop on that hook. We did a slip stitch, and then I'm going to slip this safety pin and close that off so we know where our last stitch was. So that's it, you guys. Now we have to do round 3. It's moving swimmingly, hopefully. If you need some help again, you can always rewind this video. I want to let you know that if you go to the corner of the screen here, you're going to see a little gear. If you click on that, you can change the playback speed to go slow or fast. So if you prefer it slower, you just hit the lower number on it. If you need it faster, you pick the higher number on it. Okay, so row 3, we're going to be doing in brackets single crochet stitches and an increase stitch 6 times to equal 18 stitches. That's a lot, right? So what we do in this situation, it's like math. You have to do whatever's in the brackets first. So we have a single crochet stitch and an increasing stitch, which is basically 2 single crochet stitches. So we're doing 3 of these 6 times to get 18. So before we start that, we have to do our chain up to create the height of the row. That's 1. Now we're going to do a single crochet stitch. Again, not this little one here. It's the one next to it. Front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we have to do the increasing stitch, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have 3. Then we're going to do this 5 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have to do this 4 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, we're going to repeat this 3 more times. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we just have to do this 2 more times, you guys. Just getting myself some yarn. Okay. So into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. In that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then finally 1 more time, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then I'm going to remove this marker. So you should end where the marker is. If not, you must have miscounted somewhere. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now I should have 18. Your piece is going to want to start curling in. You want that pretty side to curl out. You can tell it's the pretty side because you have nice clear rounds. You can see the braiding. But then on the other side, it kind of looks like the underside of a basket. So just flip it out. And we're going to count 18 and we're going to do a slip stitch. So from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and again, not this little one here, it's the one next to it. Yarn over, pull through front and back loops, and pull through the remaining loop, and then we're going to put this marker into that stitch we just made. And that's it. And now we're going to do round 4, and this one in brackets is going to be single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, single crochet stitch times 6, which equals 24. So we basically are doing 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochet stitches 6 times. So you see, after you do these are going to come fairly easy to you, or easier to you, and that I think that's great, because then you can, you'll probably fumble on doing one of these, but each one you'll end up getting better. If you can sit and consecutively make these and take, little breaks here and there, I think that's the best way to dive yourself in to the beginnings of crocheting, because this is a basic stitch and you do it over and over again to where you're really working on your technique and I don't want to say the consistency because it's like more textural in my opinion, but I mean like you'll be able to make the stitches more uniform. Okay, so before we start round 4, we gotta do the single chain to make the height of the round, and then we're gonna do the single crochet stitch in the next stitch, which is not this little one here that's being fused with this, it's this one here. So stick the needle into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, Then we're going to do an increasing stitch into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we have to do another single crochet stitch into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have to do this 5 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we just have to repeat this 4 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let me just grab more yarn here. I actually like this one. I miss the other polyester and acrylic yarns. I love the fluff on it. These are nice and smooth too though, so it's completely different feel. I kind of like it. Okay, so into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have to repeat this 3 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have to repeat this 2 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I did that like so fast I didn't even realize. Okay, sorry you guys. Into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to do this one last time. As you see, we are flying by a lot quicker than the first video. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Oh, that's so funny. I did the increasing stitch, I didn't do the last single crochet stitch. Now we repeat this 1 more time. You can kind of tell where you did it because this is the one with 2 single crochet stitches and it's kind of bulging out of this 1 stitch. So that's how I know I didn't do the last single crochet stitch. But yeah, 1 more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Sorry about that. Hopefully it's quiet, more quiet now. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm gonna play this back to you. A lot happening on a Sunday. Okay. And then 1 more single crochet stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So I'm going to count back now and we should have 24 stitches. If not, I screwed up somewhere. So let's count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Perfect. And this is the one that gets up there, so that one doesn't count. Front and back loops, yarn over, pull through the front and back loops, and pull through the last loop, and we've completed our ring. I'm going to make sure this is flipped out. the pretty side shows out, and then I want to slip this marker on, and then I'm gonna be doing rows 5 through 9, which is pretty simple. Looks like 5 through 9 is just going to be 24 single crochet stitches. The hard part is actually just counting the rounds, because it takes 24 single crochet stitches, and however long or fast or slow you take, you can lose count, and I've done it plenty of time. But like I said, this is going to be great because they give you more than one marker. So I'm going to pull these out and I'm going to mark them up. I don't know how many I'm going to need. I'm just going to grab them all. And I'm going to use that as my row counter so I don't lose track of where I'm going. So again, before I start the round, I'm just going to chain 1 to get that height. And then we're going to do 24 single crochet stitches. You guys know the drill. I'm just going to be counting them so that I can focus on doing the right number. Again, if you guys need to have me walk this with you, you can rewind back to any of these rows and, you know, just do a couple with me walking it out, and then you can finish the rest on your own. Or you can hit the gear at the corner of the screen, and then you can slow it down or speed it up as you like. Okay, so in the next stitch, and it's not going to be this little one here that was fused when we did the slip stitch, it's going to be the next one. So front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Oh, I just walked that through with you guys. I said I was just going to count. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and if you do have to stop, try to stop at a nice number that you'll be able to remember. If not, you can always count back. But yeah, so don't be discouraged by how fast I'm going, or if I'm going slow. You know, everybody has their own pace, especially when they're at different levels of crocheting. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's, you know, you're working it, and I don't think at any point you should ever feel discouraged or ashamed by where you are in your crocheting, because I mean, it's definitely a step up more than, you know, some that can't even do it or don't even do it. So give yourself some props for that. Okay, so I know I left off at 10. I'm going to continue counting here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, remove the marker, 24. Okay, always double check. I know it sounds like a lot, but just do it anyway, because you never know if you miss a stitch or make an extra one by accident. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and not this one. This one's the height one, spacer front and back loops, yarn over, pull through the front and back loops, and pull through the last loop there. Oh my gosh, why did I remove that marker? Okay. Oh man. Okay, so this is the 6th. And you know what? I don't need to place it exactly, but I want to make sure I mark that 5 because this is the group. If I think that this is 5, I'm going to confuse myself. I know I sound a little nutsoid at the moment, but I'm just going to try to slip this in here. Yeah. That way I can know this is 5, 6. We're doing the 6th row now. Again, we're going to take a chain stitch here to get the height, and then we're going to count 24. Not this little stitch here, we're going to use the one next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then don't remove this one, keep it, 24. So we've completed our 6th round. Then we're going to count back 24, and then we're going to slip stitch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And I like when everything is working correctly. And that's probably because it's midday and not late in the evening when I normally film. I'm trying to start earlier, you guys, because I didn't realize we had only a week left till Christmas. I mean, I practically did all my shopping on Black Friday, so I've been just sitting here waiting for the holiday to come by, and before I knew it, here it is, and I realized that I have to get a lot of stuff done. I know you guys watching this are doing crochet, but as you know, or may have not known, I also do nail videos. So I don't know if you're checking those out, but if you are, I appreciate that so much. Any kind of support, I really appreciate. I can do a lot more things. I'm just always worried that if I throw something else in there, that people are just not gonna take to it. This crochet just happened because a really good childhood friend of mine, you know, who I taught crocheting, asked for some help for the Crafter Square Dollar Tree crochet kits, and that's how that video started. And then it just spiraled out because then people were, you know, requesting me to do some characters, so I did them. And then now this is happening with the crochet world on my channel, and it's working fairly well. So I mean, I would love to start doing cooking too, but just the space that I have in my apartment is just not big enough for me to do anything about it right now, but they will come eventually because I have so many like things that I cook that are just banging that you guys just have to try. But anyway, put your marker here. I forgot to do that. So this is going to be the 7th row that we're working on now. So you want to chain 1 like we did to get that height. Then we're going to do 24 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay. Again, count this backwards and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Front and back loops, yarn over, pull through the front and back loops, and pull through the last loop. And we're going to mark this off. This is going to be our 8th round that we're going to be doing next. Okay. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Counting back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, front and back loops. yarn over, pull through front and back loops, pull through the last loop, then we're going to mark it off, and we're going to do our final round, our 9th round for this 24 stitches. Okay, so we're getting there, you guys. Hold on. My makeshift backdrop, which is just a paper towel, is sliding on my desk, and I need to weigh this down so that it doesn't slide around anymore. So I'm just gonna start putting like weight. It's crazy. Okay. All right. Let's grab some yarn. Yeah, it's nuts when, like, you know, you look at my finger and there's a ton of yarn in there. It's not. That sucker disappears in 2 seconds. I probably got more than I needed, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep wrapping this around. I know it's silly. You know, my aunt, when she was teaching me, she's like, you don't have to do that. But I hate keep grabbing the yarn. Leave a comment below if you are the same way. I just like it. It looks crazy, but at least I don't have to keep grabbing for yarn. Okay. Now we're gonna chain 1 to get that height. Then we're gonna do 24 single crochet stitches. Okay, 24 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so I'm going to count 24 and then we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Front and back loops. Yarn over. And slip stitch through everything there. So we have our 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Now I'm going to remove one of these guys and mark off where I'm going to start and end my 10th row. And as much as I wrapped my finger up with this yarn, I'm going to take it out so I can take out all these markers. I mean, you can just leave them in there and remove them later, but I like to not have things dangling off my project. So I'm just going to take this out. So you see how helpful these markers are, you guys. Not only are they very important, but they're very convenient to do when keeping track of your counts. Okay, so now for row 10, we have to do in brackets single crochet, decreasing stitch, single crochet times 16, and we're going to end up with 18 stitches. So that's 1, and we're going to minus 1 and do another 1, and then the next round is worked back loop only. BLO means back loops only. So I guess it's just warning you. I don't think this is necessary, but I guess to prepare you. Alright, so I'm actually going to grab myself a cup of coffee. I kind of didn't have one yet, and I made one. So I'm just going to go stop real quick and get that. And I'll be back before you even know it. Okay. Got my coffee. DEC is an abbreviation for decrease, and I will show you how to do that so you don't have to go back to their website. Again, like any row, we're going to chain 1 to get that height up. Then we're going to do the single crochet stitch in the next stitch. And then let's start the decrease stitch. So this is kind of complicated feeling, but it's not. It's really easy. So in the next stitch, stick your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now, in the next stitch, stick your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's how we decreased it. So we pretty much fused 2 together. So let's do the single crochet stitch. And then because it's in those brackets, we start all 3 of these over again 5 more times. Let me show that to you again. I'll probably do it throughout the whole round. Single crochet stitch, decrease stitch, stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through all 3 loops, and then single crochet stitch. We're going to repeat this 4 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, decrease stitch, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 3 loops. So I was actually doing the decreasing stitch, but because, you know, it's so repetitive, I was totally not saying what I was doing. Into the next stitch, single crochet stitch. And then we got to repeat this 3 more times. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, decreasing stitch, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay. Then we got to repeat this 2 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and we have to repeat this 1 more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. We're going to remove this marker here, and into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we're going to count back to 18 and do a slip stitch. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18, and not this little one here. Front and back loops, yarn over, pull through that, and pull through this last loop here. Then we're going to take our marker, okay, and then I'm going to take another sip of my coffee. All right. Row 11, we have 2 more rows, you guys, and we are done with this head. So we're definitely doing better this time around. I think in the when we did the snowman, it was it might have been an hour and 40 minutes or something to finish just the head. So we might actually have time for the collar for this part 1, and then we'll do the remaining pieces in the part 2. Back of loops, BLO, that's the abbreviation. So like I tell you, when we do a slip stitch, you have your front loop and your back loop. Let me get center here. Front loop and back loop, we're going to be working these back loops. In parentheses or brackets, we have the single crochet stitch and then the decreasing stitch. And we just did that, but I will walk through maybe for some of these. We got to do it 6 times and end up with 12 stitches, and then later we're going to stuff only the bottom of the head, and we're adding the eyes between rows 6 and 7 with about 4 stitches, and I'll show you what that is because you can easily count these rings. If done right, you should be able to count these rings. But let's start with this now. So let's do the space up. So let's chain 1, then we're going to do the single crochet stitch again into the back loop. So you see how we normally go through 2 like this? We're not doing that this time. We're just going to go to the back here, stick the hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's our single crochet stitch in the back loop. So now decreasing stitch like we did last round. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, that's the decreasing stitch part, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and we just decreased the stitch. So we're just going to keep repeating these 2 stitches 5 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. So we just have to repeat this 4 more times. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Well, sorry, let me do that over. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. I couldn't remember if I told you to go into the next stitch, but that's what it is for the decreasing stitch. All right, single crochet stitch into the next loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. I'm going to do this. I have one more time. I'm like, why do I have an odd number left? Because I decreased 1. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then last decreasing stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Let's remove this marker, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then I'm going to count back to 12 and we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But this time we're going to do front and back loops, and then we're going to do a slip stitch, yarn over, and pull through all loops, and then I'm going to mark it off. Okay, so before we move on to the last round for the head, we're going to stuff. I'm going to skip this part because I'm not going to do the hard beads. I want it to be safer for little ones, so I'm going to sew them on. I actually would want to put the eyes before I stuff because you can kind of snap the stuffing in the eyes and then it won't be closed tightly. But to count 6 or 7, that's real easy. You just pick and you know, your own area, whatever side it's round. If you pick one over the other, it's not going to make a difference. But to count them, you can easily tell this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you want to put the eyes in between 6 and 7, and they could be they said 4 stitches apart. And so it'll be around here. So we'll be good sewing that on. If you're putting on the beads, I'll let you do that while I take another sip. I swear, like, I'm practically IVing coffee these days. And I might be doing a little too much. I won't admit that though. Alright. So I'm going to just grab my stuffing. So this is the bag of stuffing I opened for the snowman, and you can see how like it once was super flat, super vacuumed, and now it's very fluffy. So I'm just going to grab a good chunk of this. Don't grab too much. It just said stuff the bottom, which is kind of insane because it's like, as we saw with the snowman, it didn't really cover very well. So I want this needle out of the way. It can get kind of a little cumbersome working with also a small hole. So I'm just going to pull a lot of yarn out so I don't lose this loop by accident. I'm going to kind of hold this aside also to get it out of the way. And then I'm just going to start putting the stuffing into the bottom of this head here. And I probably overstuffed it. I don't know why it says only the bottom, because I ended up adding more stuffing in the snowman, I think. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm just pushing this in the bottom. It's obviously almost full actually. But I like that. We'll just leave it. Maybe because they don't have enough fluff. That could be another thing too. I've had some people comment about how they ran out of yarn, and in the puppy crochet kit, I totally ran out of yarn and I made it like more of a mutt because it had patchy colors. But I'm putting this needle back in and I'm just gonna give it a little tighten, not too tight. And we're gonna do our last round, you guys. And it's only 1 hour and 8 minutes. I know it sounds like a lot, but you know me, these things take so much longer. So I'm really happy about that. But then this is the second time we're doing this. So the more you practice these, obviously you'll do 5 of them, you'll start noticing that you're going to be picking it up a lot faster than when you started. Okay, so we're going to do the decrease stitch 6 times. And we'll end up with sticks. We'll end up with 6. And then we're going to do a slip stitch to the end and fasten off, and I'll show you how I do that. So again, we're going to do the height. We're going to get the height, so we want to yarn over and pull up a chain, and then I'm going to do 6 decreased stitches. So into the next stitch, and this time it's front and back, it's not just the back loops only. We're gonna into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops into the, oh nope, I already started it wrong, take it back. Okay, let's start over. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, into and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. One more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over. Let's remove this marker here. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So let's count 6 and do that slip stitch and fasten off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So put your hook into front and back loops, yarn over, pull through all loops. So I'm going to give myself some excess, and then I'm going to take their scissor here. I'm going to cut this off, and that's a nice clean cut. You want to hear the scissors grind and hear the material grind. Yarn over, pull through the loop and pull it entirely out, and then tighten that loop, and that's fastening off. So this is done, and now we can move on to the next part. So you can just put this away here, and I'm going to try to throw it in there, so we'll see. So in the instructions it tells you that for the reindeer and elf, the main color is green and the secondary color is red. So I'm going to be getting the green and the red spools for us. So here are my spools. The main color is green, so I'm gonna put the red one aside. And I'm gonna get the green one, and I'm gonna try to find that center. And I have no idea where to begin. So sometimes you get lucky and you can find the center. Other times you don't, and you just end up grabbing a lot of yarn. But if you're working on like a huge project or a decently sized project, you'll end up using all of it that you pulled out anyway. And I don't think I'm going to get lucky. It's sometimes it's clear. The last video I actually got I got it right away, which was amazing. But here you can tell, and I know it's not ideal and I know it's messy, but trust me, if you can get the yarn from the center, it's better than having to I got it. Took out almost everything, but yeah, it's better than having it roll around on your desk, especially when you don't have a lot of room. So we're gonna work on this next page now. Okay, And then what I'm gonna want to do is I'm going to teach you how to cast on chains from nothing. Okay, and this is a factory thing. When they combine yarns together, they will just knot it. Any yarn that I've ever seen, they just knot it. They don't have any magic way to fuse it. So some people don't like using this piece. People will cut it and start elsewhere. I don't like to waste anything, so I'm just going to use this. But I'm just going to keep wrapping this around. Okay. So here's my end piece here, right? You have your yarn that's all around your finger, maybe not like mine, but you want to take your middle ring and pinky and your thumbnail or thumb, your thumb. You want to hold it apart like this, however comfortable it is, really. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the needle perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, up, and around to get this loop around that needle. Do it one more time. Perpendicular, down, up, and around. So now what we're going to do, I want to make this as small as possible, right? So let's just slide this up as much as you can, and we're going to want to pinch this so you don't lose it. So pinch this intersection, make sure it's not too tight to where you can't move the loop up and down the needle or the hook. Then we're going to want to yarn over, and then we're going to grab this and pull it through this one here. So just move this down just like that. Now we've made that little loop. So we just want to tighten this up. I'm going to pinch this end, and I'm going to push this knot towards the end until I can't push anymore, until that knot gets tightened. Not crazy tight. I'm going to pull on the ends now to make sure that the knot is tightened. Then I'm going to grab the knot and slide it up through the yarn to get close to that hook. Not too close to where you can't move the hook. But now I'm going to remove this off the hook. Try not to lose your loop. All you need to do is carefully just slide it out like that. We're going to attach it to the front loops that we didn't use. Okay. In the instructions, it says then work with front loops of round 10 of the head. Start crocheting with the main color yarn. So what I'm going to do, and you can just pick any area. I'm just going to pick this right here, and I slipped it like this. And I'm just going to copy the way it looks, so it looks like that the top of the head's at the bottom, and then that ring is up to the top. So this is going to count as my slip stitch. Put your yarn back onto that loop back onto the hook and slip it through that stitch we put the crochet needle in. So that's going to be like our kind of initial stitch. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, it says make 2 chains. So let's make 2 chains. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. There we go. Then it's going to say 2 DC. 2 DC is double crochet, and I'll teach you how to do that. 2 DC in the same loop. Okay, so in the same loop is what I gather. What you're going to do for a double crochet stitch is yarn over. You have that yarn over, and we're going to insert the hook in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and that's a double crochet. Then we have to do 2 of these. So yarn over into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay. So then make 2 DC in each loop until the end of the round and join with a slip stitch. So like I said, in the single crochet, that 1 chain made the height. This 2 chain here is not considered a double crochet. It's going to be the height that we got made to get up here. So let's do 2 double crochet stitches in every loop around. Okay, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, again in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. This is where that factory knot is, so I'm going to try to hide it behind here, which does make this loop tight, but I don't want to pull it out and expose that knot. So there's tricky ways to kind of hide flaws, and even it's sticking out still, but I guess not as much. But yeah, you just gotta find ways to hide factory mistakes, your mistakes. Okay. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I feel like a zombie at this point. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Oh, and you know what I just realized? I didn't do the double. So just double check if you did doubles. I know after a while it becomes so redundant and you do turn out into like a zombie-like mode and you can miss things. So I just took that one back and I'm going to do a double, 2 double crochet stitches. This is the second one. Okay. Then into the next stitch. So you see how this is so easy, you guys? I think they just need to explain it better because it's not fully beginner if you need a video to help you begin, you know? Like, why create the book if you can't just have it in the book? Because not everybody is gonna have that immediate access to a video. Although you have mine, so what am I saying, right? I don't know. But I'm sure if you do, you just need to see it for a little bit, and then you'll get the hang of it, or the gist of it, and then you can go off on your own and do these projects. But I love how nice and convenient these are. I finished the snowman. I was looking at it. I have a mini tree. If I had a bigger tree, I can imagine just like, you know, crocheting a loop on top of these characters' heads and just hanging it onto the tree, if anything. Or you can set them as table settings, you know, especially if you have 5 members. It's like Monopoly. You give each one a character, and then they know where to sit. But these little kits are just so cute. I definitely never thought of getting any kits to try out, but again, like ever since that Crafter Square kits, I think these things are pretty genius. They're nice short projects that anyone can finish. Like, I tend to start projects and never finishing them, so you know, these ones are really, you know, if for me to say, oh, I started it and never finished these little projects, that's sad. Because these aren't that big. I mean, there are reasons why I don't crochet blankets, knit blankets. It would just take forever. But I did try doing a blanket, and I used the super thick yarn, thinking that, you know, oh, then I don't have to really knit or crochet as much because I'm using the thicker yarn. Nope. I started and never finished it. So the largest project that I've ever done and completed is a scarf, but it's not just any scarf. Like, I add pockets on there, so it does have a bit of work that goes into it. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think I've ever made anything larger than that. And once upon a time, I wasn't super fast, and it's a combination of knitting and crocheting, but I clocked myself at 16-17 hours. And it's crazy because when I read, like, oh, how much do you charge for crafted items, and they always say, well, it should always be like a per hour ideal. So if you think about it that way, if you charge someone, you know, $5 for something like a coaster, but it took you, like, you know, even let's say it took you an hour, that means you charge $5 an hour. You know, people don't understand there's a reason why handcrafted items are expensive. You know, they would rather pay a company to get something cheaper, but what you do get out of handcrafted items is the care, the quality, and you get the personalization to it because, you know, there's obviously more heart being put into these things. Alright, so let's do a slip stitch. I'm not going to count it, didn't give me a number, so I just did 2 in each. And now I'm just going to slip stitch, front and back loops, yarn over, pull through all the loops. I don't even think you have to mark this off, but just in case, let's slip this marker on here. Okay. Alright. So for round 2, we are going to be making 2 chains, and that's going to be for the height. And it makes sense because for the single crochet we only had to do 1, and for the double we're going to do 2. And then we're going to make 1 half double crochet in each stitch to the end round and join with the slip stitch. It's funny, it tells you here but it didn't tell you in the head instructions. But yeah, so let's do this real quick because we're already at 1:30 and I want to try to do this in 10 minutes. So let's chain 2 to get that height. And yes, there is a lot of yarn on my finger. And now we're going to half double crochet in all the stitches around with the slip stitch. And half double crochets are my favorite because they leave a really nice top on there, and I'm going to show you what that is. But this is how you do a half double crochet. Yarn over, stick through front and back loops into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, it's not as steppy as the double crochet. So yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So to not sound like a broken record, I'm just going to keep going. So again, you can always click on that gear on the right hand corner if you have it horizontally. I think it's still the right hand corner if you have your phone vertically. But you can click on the gear and you can set the playback speed. I think it's from -2 or 3 up to -2 or 3. So that means 3 times, 2 times, 1.5 times, 2.5 times. I think it's in increments of halves. So yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around. I'm going to do that slip stitch, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. We are switching colors, so I'll show you how to do that and make it a nice transition. You know, and that stuff they don't tell you either. And again, I didn't go on their website using that QR code, but I can imagine that they'll teach you how to switch out colors. If not, if you've seen it, comment below. Let me know if they actually do not show this stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely a little tense in my crocheting, especially my right hand, because I can feel it. You really shouldn't feel that tension. You shouldn't feel that soreness. If you do, just lighten up the grip a little bit. But because I'm trying to do this fairly quickly, I am tensing up a bit, so I can totally feel a little pain in my hand. But yeah, I've got these 2 stitches left. And then we'll do a slip stitch. I'm going to remove this right here. Let's do one more. Okay, then we're going to do a slip stitch. We're not counting the 2 chains because that's the space to get up. We're going to put it in this one here. front and back loops, yarn over, pull through all the loops. And I'm going to mark. Oh, sorry, that's not what I'm going to do. Let's take the slip stitch out because we're switching colors. Okay, so for round 3, we're going to change to the secondary color yarn. So we're not going to need this green anymore. What I am going to do is kind of leave some excess so I don't lose the stitch. Even though I don't think you would lose it, it would just be like flapping around there. It might slip out if you cut it too short. But I got this red here. I already have the middle pulled out. I'm going to pull out some more to get that going. Okay. And this one's going to be interesting. It's going to be 1 slip stitch in each stitch. So what you want to do is, let's actually take this out, pull the yarn out a little bit so you don't lose that stitch, and let's create that initial chain that I showed you earlier. So hold the ends. You want to have your hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, up and around. See how it's sliding? Nice. Loose and easy. Now what I'm going to do is I want to hold, I don't want to lose this cross here, so hold that. We're going to pinch the end of this yarn and I'm going to slide it up to the hook like that. So now I'm going to pinch both this excess and the yarn behind it. So pinch it. Don't pinch it too tight because we got to stick a hook in there. So now I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull this through this loop like that. Then I'm going to pinch the end and I'm going to pull or push this knot all the way down. It's going to tighten up at the same time. Try not to lose that end piece. When you get as far as you can, then you can take the end piece and just pull it the opposite way just to tighten up that knot a little more. I'm going to grab the knot, slide it up to the hook, but not too tight to the hook. You want to have some room in there. I'm going to take this out. Don't lose this. But now I'm going to put my hook back into that loop that we loosened, tighten it back up a little bit. Then I'm going to do the slip stitch from the first double crochet that we did. And then I'm going to slip this red back on. And then I am going to pull this red through all loops like this. Okay, so now what I can do, I'm going to end up tying this to this one. So I wish I didn't really wrap this all over. But we're going to tie this now, just to double secure it. Make sure you don't lose that hook off of there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tie it twice. Here's one time. And you don't have to go super tight, just tie it. 2. Okay, so now you can just tuck this. I'll show you how to hide these later. But so now we have our red. We switched to our red, and we're going to do a slip stitch for each stitch, and that's going to be easy. So these 2 stitches are fused together with that slip stitch, so we're not counting that. This is the first one. Slip your hook into the next stitch here, yarn over and pull through all loops like we did before. And you want to do this loosely, okay, because you don't want to struggle. Slip stitches can tend to be very difficult if there's not enough slack in the yarn. And we're going to do this all the way around into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through all loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all loops. into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all loops, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all loops. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. More like a gulp or 2 or 3. Talking a lot and coffee does not help, makes your throat dry. All right, let's continue this. I'm loving the color already. Okay, slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch. So you pretty much get the idea. We're gonna do this all the way around, but this is coming along fairly great. If it's not on your end and you still find some difficulty in it, listen, just keep at it. You know, I've messed up projects so many times when I first started out, but you know, eventually you get it and it's gonna look great. And not only that, you can end up creating your own stuff. The stitches that we're using here, those are basic stitches, you guys. And believe it or not, in a lot of complicated looking pieces, most of the time they're using basic stitches. Every now and then they'll put in a fancy stitch in there, but you know, as you get comfortable doing the basics, you can upgrade. I think my first crochet book, I like getting the pattern ones. You know, they either come in squares, like they're mostly squares that you make of pattern, and you can patch them all together and make a quilt. See, if you're the type that is like myself, that kind of lacks the focus for large projects, getting these books, crochet books that have, you know, they can have 50 patterns, 100 patterns, and they're mostly squares. You can try to make those and then patch them all together at your own pace. It's easier to do smaller tasks per square than it is to do a whole blanket. But you can try to sew them together, and then before you know it, while you're practicing, you'll end up making, you know, a large quilt that you can use as a throw blanket or a cover over your couch. We used to do that. It's very rewarding, you know. Like I said, handcrafted anything is always special than buying from the store. But if you do intend on selling, know the value, and it's per hour. And yes, it sounds crazy, but someone that likes crafts, that, you know, has a better appeal to it, will understand why the price factor is high there. Okay, so we're gonna do a slip stitch to the end, and I think we're at the end of the road here, so I'm just gonna do a slip stitch to the first slip stitch, and it is gonna get a little tight because, you know, I didn't really make that first slip chain on that hook. It was pretty tight. I'm just gonna slip it in the bottom like that. Put yarn over, pull through all loops, and then I'm just gonna cut the excess off. I mean, cut this part off. I was gonna say that knife is sharp, that scissors sharp. Okay, then we're gonna yarn over and pull through that loop all the way and fasten it. And so the way you could possibly hide this, I know it might jack up. Let's see what it looks like. No, it's gonna mess it up. We're gonna tuck this back here. I'm gonna tuck it behind these red pieces here. So you just want to slip it in there and grab it and pull it all the way through, and keep doing that until, one, either you know it's secure and it'll take a bunch to get it unraveled, or two, till you run out of yarn. Sometimes I'll do that, but sometimes I realize the excess is too long and I don't want to sit there trying to hide it all, so I'll probably do a few of these and then cut it off. But let's see, I think this isn't too long to do. But yeah, so you get the kind of gist of it. You want to hide it behind a color that is the same color so that it doesn't look funny coming out of a green stitch and it's a red piece of yarn. But that's pretty much it, you guys. So we're at 1 hour and 44 minutes. I'm really happy I got through the collar, because now I'm gonna flip to the next page and see what else we have next in store for the elf. I'm gonna guess it's the hat, and then of course I have to sew on the eyes, but for timing purposes sake, I'm just gonna finish this red up, and then you do the same thing for the green, and you can do the same thing for the this color one. I don't even know what to call it. They should really put names, because I don't like to say skin color, because, you know, no way this is everybody's skin color. I know it's not mine. But yeah, so I'm just gonna cut the rest of this off, not to go too crazy. Like I said, off camera I'm gonna tuck away the green one and the light colored one. Whew. I'm gonna put away this yarn here, and we're just gonna flip real quick to the next pages and see what's in store. I'm gonna try to like post both parts in one day. I'm not sure if that's possible. If not, I'll post it the next day. But let's take a look at this, you guys. The next one is the snowman. We did that. The next one is Santa. Okay, Santa's very involved. The gingerbread. The reindeer. I guess the last one's the elf. Poor elf. Okay, yeah, so the next parts are gonna be the elf hat. We've got the pom-pom. We have bangs. This is so cute. And then the assembly. How cute is this? These are so much fun, you guys. I don't know about you, but I really hope that you enjoyed this. This is what we have so far. It actually looks a lot better than the snowman I started with. I know you may not be able to tell if you've seen the video, but like I said, even when you start something new, it could come out crappy, you know. Just because you have a level experience in crochet doesn't always mean that it's going to come out great the first time. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. I love the little collar. I love that they're kind of the same, and it's just interchangeable on the character. Pardon this witch's hat. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Join me next time in part 2. Again, it might be the same day, it might be the next day, but I'm going to try to get all these characters out before the holiday. If you have a chance to catch the nail stuff, I really appreciate that. Saturday night, I am doing a collaboration again with a bunch of other content creators, and it's going to be Christmas theme, and it's going to be like a roulette of manicure decorations and directional words. So it's going to be a very interesting collaboration. So if you have the chance to check this out, even though you're just, you know, interested into the crocheting videos, I'll really appreciate that. It's always nice to see something different, and I hope that I'll be able to keep putting out content that is interesting to you guys. But thank you so much for watching. This is IsmsBy Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.